Hello everyone, Basic Ollie here and welcome to another episode of This Week on iRacing. Let's start this episode off by going straight to the Imza series, shall we? And this week, boys and girls, we are going to Motegi, a very rare sight indeed, I have to say. This track does not appear on many calendars at all. Although I will say, when I have actually driven this track, I have quite enjoyed it. It is one of those underrated tracks. It's one of those tracks that's underrated, doesn't really get much of a chance, and because of that, participation levels will be low this week. There is a 6 hour here as well this weekend, but again, I don't expect it to be that popular, if I'm being honest. We'll get a couple of splits, but I don't think any more than that. It's one of those, unfortunately. It's one of those. But if you are doing Motegi this week, you should enjoy it. I do think it's a good track. Softs will be relatively low, I do believe, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Could be a good place to grind your SR out as well. Nice wide track. Not really any tricky places for getting off track, so you should be fine if you want to kind of just grind your SR out for the week. Rain for Imza this week in both the open and the fixed. There is a 0% chance of rain at the moment. And in endurance-wise, we have a 32% chance of rain. Now, I say there's a 0% chance of rain at the moment. If you boys and girls didn't know, Watkins Glen this week, there had been a glitch where some people, where it started to rain, they tried to put on the wet tyres. It would lift their cars up onto the jacks and keep them on the dries again. So, yeah. I don't think the weather has actually changed on the schedule, so I think it was 0% anyways for open and fixed. The Enduro is 32%, but just do keep an eye on that, because that might change. That might change. But yeah, if you're not driven this track before, give it a chance. I quite enjoy it. Hopefully you will as well. And if you're looking to do a few races where it's a little bit more quiet and want to grind out your SR, this one could be the one for you. Okay then, moving on to the next series in my list, which is the GT3 series. So we've got the GT3 Open, the GT3 Fixed, and the GT3 Endurance. They're all heading to Zolder this week. So we're going to Zolder in the GT3 cars this week on iRacing. Track temp, you're expecting to be around anywhere between like 18 degrees to 23 degrees. It's quite cool. So track temp is not something you really need to worry about. Again, it's a European track. This time of year, the track temp is always going to be low, so do expect track temps to be relatively low until we get to the spring/summertime here in Europe anyways for the European tracks. Tips for this one is to watch for those T1 sends. It's quite difficult to overtake at this track, so T1 sends are probably going to be people's number one way of getting past you. So if you are being sent on into T1, do be careful, because it's the biggest overtaking opportunity on that track. So that's where the moves are going to be done. So yeah, just keep an eye in your mirror, and if you're going to overtake someone, that will also be the place to do it. Rain, you don't need to worry about it. There is no rain in either series. So GT3 Sprint, Fixed, and Endurance, there's no rain at all. So all those series are absolutely fine. So if you want to avoid the rain, GT3 might be the one for you. Again, I don't think that we're going to get the kind of numbers that we got this week, or last week, I should say, for the Nürburgring 24-hour. Yeah, we're just not going to get that. That layout is very, very popular for people. People really like going around the Nürburgring, so the GT Sprint stuff there was very, very popular. The splits were crazy. Loads of people sign up for that. Zolder, I don't think you can get anywhere near that amount. It will still be okay. It will still be half decent, but you're not going to get to the levels of what the Nürburgring offered for last week. But yeah, there you go. GT3s going to Zolder this week. No rain to worry about. Track temps nice and low. Banger. All right then, third on my list of series to cover this week, for this week on iRacing, is the Porsche Cups. They are going to Road Atlanta, so they're going to RA, and it should be good fun, this. It should be good fun indeed. P-Cup's been off to an absolutely cracking start. First, we had Lemons, and this week we've got Road Atlanta. So if you're a fan of the Porsche Cups, I got to say, this season is your season so far. The first 2 weeks are absolutely fantastic. Expect good numbers for this. Again, You're not going to get Lemon's kind of numbers. You know, Le Mans, it always gets good numbers. If a series goes there, the popularity just increases tenfold. It gets very, very popular indeed. Track temperature, you're looking around 30 degrees, okay? You're looking around 30 degrees. So it's a tad warm. It's a tad warm, but nothing to be worried about, I don't think, especially the P-Cups with the newish tyre model. The tyres seem to last for quite some time, so you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. Tips for this one is a good exit. You really want a good exit onto the back straight. The toe in these things is very, very strong, and the toe will be key at Road Atlanta, like it always is when you're going back down the back straight. It makes a huge, huge difference. And then just watch for the sends into the left-right after the back straight, because again, that is going to be a big, big overtaking opportunity. Not quite as bad as Zolder T1. There are a few more overtaking opportunities here, but yeah, the one on the end of the back straight is a very, very good one indeed. So do watch out for that. Do try and prioritise getting a good exit to defend from that or to attack from it if you're trying to go up a few positions. Rain. Now, there is no chance of rain in the fixed, so if you don't want to have any rain to worry about, fixed is the series for you. If you like it kind of mixed, then maybe the open one is for you this week. It has a 53% chance of rain during the race. Okay, so 53% chance of during the race. So if you are a rain enthusiast, I don't know how many people are rain enthusiasts in the Porsche Cup, but if you are one of those people, you should enjoy Open this week. Should be carnage. Should be carnage. I don't know if it will be the place for SR. I'll be honest, but you never know. You never know. But anyways, yes, as I was saying, Porsche Cup at Road Atlanta should be decent. I reckon this will be a popular one this week. And now time for some Open Formula series. I'm actually going to cover the Super Formula Lights for this week's episode. The Super Formula Lights, I've gone to VIR. Now, VIR is one of my favourite tracks on the sim. I'm not particularly quick at it, but my goodness me, for a free track, it is absolutely bonkers. It's awesome. You've got to love VIR, especially the roller coaster section. Unbelievable. It is so, so good. So this will be very, very popular, I think. Super Formula Lights is a popular series anyways, and the fact it's now at a free track and a track like VIR is just going to boost the popularity like crazy. So if you're looking for something to do this week, if none of the series I've showed you so far are of particular interest to you, I've got to be honest with you, it's not really my week. I've not really seen any series this week where I'm like, yeah, that's definitely something I want to do this week. But this is probably the one I'll be looking forward to the most. Track temperature, you probably look around 30 degrees. Again, just like the P-Cups at Road Atlanta, it's slightly warm, but nothing really to concern yourself about. You should be fine. Tips for this one is to hold on. The downforce here is going to feel crazy. T1 will be scary as always. The roller coaster section is going to be absolutely mental in these things. You could probably go flat out through turn 10 as well, which is going to be crazy. And watch out for, is it Oak Tree Bend at the top? Yeah, that's going to be a death trap there. And yeah, both open and fixed have no chance of rain at all, so you don't need to worry about that at all. So yeah, this will be good. This is actually my pick of the week. I don't actually think this week is particularly great. I actually think it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to say mid. The week is very, very mid. It's not, nothing really sticks out at all, especially on the sports car side of things. But Open Formula wise, this looks like an absolute banger. So I think this is where I'm going to spend most of my time this week. Maybe try and get my A license. I know there's not really much of a point in A license and in Open Formula these days, but you know, I might try and grind it out, see what happens. It's Christmas week. Will give me something to do on stream anyways. But yeah, that's it for the series that I'm going to cover this week. Like I said, it's not particularly great, I have to be honest. But anyways, regardless, we've had a look through those 4 series. Now let's look through the honourable mentions list. Okay then, the honourable mentions for this week. If we have a look, we do have the Ferrari GT3 Challenge. That's going to Road Atlanta, so that could be half decent. You got the SimLab Production Challenge. That is going to a VIR as well. That should get some decent numbers. That is for sure. What else do we have here? The M2, that's also going to VIR. VIR is very popular this week, so it seems. So, yeah, if you're a big fan of VIR, this week is the week for you. And then lastly, I would say probably the Toyota GR Cup going to Daytona. That should be a good laugh. That'll be a slipstream fest. That should be some good fun. But yeah, as you can see, it could just be me. Let me know in the comments. There's just nothing special this week. Do you know what I mean? There's just nothing special. Christmas week, yeah, it's very, very average. It's very, very average indeed. I think without the Super Formula Lights at VIR, I'd be really scratching my head thinking, what am I going to do this week? Because this isn't particularly great. But yeah, regardless, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. As always, please do hit the old like button and do consider subscribing on the way out. It really does help me out. And I'll catch you, boys and girls, for the next episode next week. Take care. Have an awesome rest of your day. Ta-da.